Well, Johnson City Parks and Recreation is planning a big week ahead, honoring some very special people, grandparents and first responders. Here with the details now is Greenlee, director of the Carver Recreation Center in Johnson City. It's great to have you.
Yes, I enjoyed coming back.
Well, good. And you've got a lot of things happening this week, coming up on Thursday, which is Grandparents' Day.
Yeah. Well, we're having Grandparents' Day. We started Grandparents' Day in 1988. I came to Carver in 1987, and then we started programming, and we added the grandparents to our program. And we've been doing it each year ever since, and getting the grandparents today and doing some programming and stuff with the grandparents. And
you were actually telling me a little bit of history about Grandparents' Day.
Yeah.
You said it dates way back, and a little boy wrote a letter.
Little boy, 9-year-old boy, he wrote a letter to President Nixon in 1969 stating that that his grandparents was a big part of his life, and he wanted recognition for his grandparents. So Nixon said the only thing we could do is do it in a proclamation. So it went on until 1978 when President Carter and the Senate introduced it as a proclamation. And it became legislation that National Grandparents' Day started August the 3rd, 1978.
That's awesome.
And so we've been doing it 10 years later. We've been doing it ever since. And what we're doing with our grandparents this year is it's going to be on September the 9th. From 6 to 7:30, and we're going to have the grandparents with their grandkids come in and do some programming like arts and crafts and games and little gardening and stuff like that to get them introduced to each other on how to do different things. Let the kids show the grandparents what they've been doing. Grandparents can introduce some things like that, and then sit down and have a little dinner. And then we're going to do some door prizes, and we got some gifts for the grandparents. For appreciating them for what all they do during the year, and it ain't just one thing. They do a whole lot of things. Without our grandparents, we couldn't have a lot of things going on. Because here at Carver and in the city, grandparents is a big deal for us because when the parents are working, the grandparents step in and make a difference in the kid's life.
Amen.
That's what we do.
I know that every single day.
Yeah,
who picks up the kids from school? Who takes care of them when mom and dad are working? And just that mentoring and having that special relationship and that special bond, so important for a child.
Oh yeah, it's so important. And sometimes they don't see their parents till later on, in when they get ready to go to bed or whatever. But the grandparent steps in and does a lot of different things, and that's what's important about it.
Well, it's going to be a wonderful event, and then the very next day you're regrouping and you're shifting the focus from the grandparents to our first responders. Yeah,
first responders, we've been doing it since 9/11. We've been doing it like a couple of years after 9/11. We try to recognize the firemen, the EMT, the EMS, the police department, and the sheriff's department, the highway patrol, and all that. We did different events with them. But we want to honor them on Friday the 10th for First Responders Day with a luncheon. They can eat in or they can take it out. And we're going to have something special for them, a grab bag where they can do some things. And we want to honor them because they keep us safe. They make things happen for us. When we call upon them, they're always there. In a fire or emergency or something like that. They're always there for us. Nurses are too. Nurses are involved with it. Doctors, everybody. That's the first responders. And we need to recognize them and let them know that we sure appreciate them for what all they do each and every day. Not just 5 days a week, it's 7 days a week. And we sure appreciate them.
And I think, too, as a community, to come together to show them that support and that love and that gratefulness means the world to them. Yeah,
and First Responder Day officially is October the 28th, but in 2019, May 10, 2019, Congress made a proclamation to have First Responders Day, and that's why it's going to be on every, I think the last third Wednesday in October is going to be First Responders Day.
You definitely did your homework, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Because that is important to know where it came from and how it was established. first responders.
And I think it's so important what you guys are doing for grandparents and first responders. A wonderful opportunity. We'll give everybody the information so they can take part. It is Grandparents' Day, and that's coming up first, and that's September 9th, just near it a couple days this week from 6 o'clock until 7:30, and of course, happening there at the Carver Rec Center. And then the very next day, on September the 10th, it is First Responders' Day, a fabulous luncheon from noon until 2 p.m. happening there at the Carver Rec Center. For more information on either of those events, you can call the number on your screen.